Hi, I'm Jamie Cyphers, and I've got a great tip for you for topwater fishing. Myself, like many other anglers, I like to have a single topwater tied on. I like to take it out and use it in specific situations, thus a shade pocket, a grass line, maybe it's just a lay down. So I'll have one lure tied up for that. In this case, it's a frog, okay? But in other avenues where fish are schooling and they're out in vast areas where there's not a lot of cover and I'm really looking at bringing up a wolf pack of fish, I have another little trick that I like to use, a second rod. And what essentially it is I take a bait, in this case it's a small popper or a Sammy or something in that neighborhood, and I take the back hook off it, okay, and I leave the front on. And what I do with the back hook is I take a 30-pound mono, and I don't use braid, and the reason is that braid with a lot of force can pop and break easily. What I've found is the best case scenario here is about a 30-pound mono that has a little stretch to it. And what I do is I tie on the first, take about a 3-foot leader, and I tie the first part onto the back of the first lure. And essentially there, I've got it tied on here. I then connect this to my fishing rod, and I have my basic popper, except I don't have a feathered treble on the back. But what I do is I take it over here, I trim it down to the length that I want. In this case, I'm looking at about 2 feet. And then I take my primary lure, which in this case is a Sammy, okay? This is a Lucky Craft Sammy. And I tie this bait on to trail it. And once again here, I'm just ripping through this real quick with the uni knot, okay? But what I do is now I have 2 baits out there. And when I get this and I wing this out over big grass flats and open water, I've got the front one going one way, I've got the back one going the other way. I mean, you can literally bring up with that commotion huge schools of fish. You'll get more doubles than you've ever got in your life, and it's a great way to fill the live wells. The big key on it, though, is when you get bit on the first or the second is real slow to start with. And what will happen is the second bait will trail it, and if he's got any friends behind him and they're competing, because remember, this is survival of the fittest out there, one of them will 9 times out of 10 come up and eat the other bait. Now you've got a double, now you're catching more fish, now you're having more fun. Thanks again.